Morning, everybody. Welcome to FIF. FIF Friday is dedicated to a live session that's really meant for us to kind of relate, right? Like, I believe that whatever level you're on, whether you're at a top production level, you're at a mediocre level, or you're just getting started and you're starting from the bottom, right? I think that the FIF is really meant to help you see that no matter what level you're at, you still experience the same levels of challenges. You still go through that grind. You still go through those hurdles that it takes to overcome. And I think that by showing you, no matter what level you're at right now, that even I too also go through specific challenges, we can have a session, which is the FIF, where we could both vent together. So in today's FIF episode, we're gonna be talking about limitations. And just an FYI, guys, if you got kids in the car, if you got kids around you, you're gonna wanna turn this down because this is definitely explicit content, and I may drop a F-bomb here and there. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, share the video after you watch it, and comment below what your takeaway is on FIF, Fuck Limitations. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sales Remastered. My name is Daniel. I'm your host. And on this episode of the FIF, which is Fuck It Friday, we're going to talk about limitations. Why I picked limitations is because, number one, it's always recommended, but number two, it's subliminally suggested that each one of us have this kind of pre-wired limit within us that we usually use our past to reference. Let me explain. So when you go into whatever it is you're about to go into for the day, there is specific limitations that we set for ourselves. And because those limitations are our reality, it becomes our truth. And I think that it ultimately is a choice. Now, let me explain the reason why I know it's a choice. Is because long ago, my mentor taught me that in life, there are going to be a 1,001 things that you can't change, right? And you just got to be able to accept it. The only thing you can change really is yourself and adapt. He said that of all the things you can't change, one thing that you can control is your work ethic and your attitude. It's basically your mindset. And he let me know that regardless of what you see around you in terms of limitations or the top, you know what I mean? Like the top producer, they even have their own limitations all the way down to the bottom. And so from a bottom level, from like what you believe, because you are brand new, maybe coming into this industry, you believe that you're too new to outshine or outperform the top producer because there are limitations within your mindset that make believe that you can't go as hard or you can't produce as much. And you might be thinking, well, D, of course I can't produce as much, bro, because I've just got started and I don't have the experience or the hustle that these top producers have. And I want you to realize something is that that's your choice. You see, the top producer at one point was actually at your level. Now, let's say if you're at the top already, right? Like you're killing it, you're fucking doing things around you, and you are already at the top. So then where do you go? You see, I believe that you are at the top. You may be able to you may get complacent, and it's not your fault. Oftentimes it's because of your surroundings, it's your environment. And so if you're the top dog in your shop, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'd be the top dog at another person's shop, right? Like, so for example, my company, I'm with a national size recognized mortgage lender. We do about $1 billion per month. And I currently lead the top sales team with the highest volume per loan agent average funded per month, and consistently been recognized as the top sales manager of the year for the entire company. And so I want to share with you what the idea is, that when you actually do reach the top, there is one thing that's going to separate you from the rest. And that one thing is your actual initiative. You see, initiative is something that's going to help you get through the challenges that you experience within sales. But initiative is the one thing that you can fully control. You can change that shit. And so when you go into a challenge or you go into a goal or you go into a commitment, at the end of the day, it's going to be based on what you believe your limits are. Does that make sense? So every single day, as a salesman, for example, I try to influence my team to have no limits. I try to influence my team to do things like double up their expectations, because what I found, and the same mentor taught me this, is that, hey man, if your goal was 10, then you should double that and actually strive for 20. Because what happens is when you strive for 20, you gonna get like this FOMO effect that happens throughout your day, meaning that you can only do so many things that's gonna help you reach your 20. And so if your goal was 10 and a month has 20 work days, the idea is to get one sale per day, not even including weekends. But weekends becomes, that icing on the top. It's the buffer, right? It's like that extra. And he told me that if you double up what your actual real goal is, your work ethic will match. And even if you fail, even if you have a 50-50 shot of hitting that top goal, you'll still hit your actual initial goal. Does that make sense? But it all comes down to your mindset. It all comes down to your belief system, your perception. And so if your goal was 10 and then you committed for 20, your actions should reflect what is required in order to hit that 20. But the real challenge is what if your surroundings, or what if your office, or what if your company has never ever hit 20 before? And so those are the thoughts that actually impede us and actually infiltrate our own thoughts and our mindset that create these false limitations. So I'm here to tell you right now, fuck limitations. If you have a limitation right now, like you believe that your house or your apartment or your condo is the best that you're gonna get, and that's all you got in store for you, it's a choice, boo-boo. At the end of the day, you can push yourself through initiative, or you could settle for less than what you deserve because that is your conceived limitation. You see, what I believe is that if you have initiative and if you take action, meaning that your mindset comes first and your perception is that regardless if anyone's ever hit this number, I'm gonna hit this number. Or regardless if anyone in my family has ever hit this amount of income, I'm gonna hit this income. Does that make sense? So you can't allow your surroundings to limit your potential because it's never been done. As a matter of fact, you should probably look at that as an invitation to be the very first one to get it done. There's something powerful with having a chip on your shoulder in a positive way. You see, there are people right now who are inside your environment who got a chip on the shoulder and they got it in a bad way. But I want to show you how to do it in a good way. And so it all has to do with your perception and your belief of what your own personal limitations are. You see, if you went into every single day understanding that there were no limits, but instead there was a science to hit a specific result, then your only focus is how can I make that science or make that process or make that sequence of actions more efficient to maximize my return and fucking break past limitations. Because I don't give a fuck if Jim or if Carrie have only done 8 for the month and that's my office's top record. Fuck that. I'm gonna figure out how to break that because I want the spotlight on myself. You see, a lot of us will hold ourselves back because we don't like the spotlight. And so therefore we're anchored back because the limitations that we put ourselves in. We want to limit our exposure. And so we don't want to get recognized as the boo-boo doing extra, right? Because that's not cool, right? It's almost like, man, who wants to work on the weekend? But I could tell you that the top earners in this industry, the industry titans, the performers that are making more money per month than you did the last quarter of the year, these are individuals that have full initiative. They are in full control of their emotion and they have the solid mindset already in place to not look and base their production off of their surroundings. And so if you go through your office, one thing is crazy is that sitting by the top producer are individuals who are actually producing, right? But if you go to another side of the office or another location of your sales floor and you go to someone who's not producing, guess what? Their environment is not producing as much either. Does that make sense? So environment plays a huge role because when we set our limitations, we're looking at our past. And oftentimes when we look at our past, we're looking at our memories, and those memories are influenced by the ones that we love. So our parents, our guardians, our brothers, our sisters, our best friends, our neighbors, our whatever, just whomever in our environment, it is their belief system that influences how we design our belief system. And that is what creates our limitations. You get it? And so even if everyone in your surrounding is fucking doom and gloom, right? Like they're just down in blue and they have negative expectations, right? Like, oh yeah, you'll never make it. Or yeah, that would be nice, but you should just be safe, or you should just be careful. You know, just as long as you try your best. I like the way you are. Whatever those influences are, you can't let that shit taint you. You can't let it weigh you down. You see, they believe the way they believe because they personally have never hit it. But remember, keep in mind that you have an opportunity right now, today in 2019, with the technology and the resources that we have available in order to paint whatever fucking destiny you want. Does that make sense? And so even though I'm a loan officer, and even though, you know what I mean, like I work in real estate, I'm not a billionaire, I'm not a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like I didn't graduate from college. I grew up in the slums. I moved around a lot when I was a kid, but I used those experiences and what are quote unquote handicaps as my advantage, because when I did move around a lot, what I did recognize was that there are certain people who grow up in an atmosphere and never leave that shit. Let me ask you a question. Do you have that one thugged out friend that never fucking grew up, right? They're damn near 30, 40 plus, but they're still thugged out. Like, bro, I didn't even know they sold Dickies anymore. What the hell you get Cortezes from, bro? Those are vintage as fuck. And then you think to yourself like, man, how the fuck did we grow up? I evolved, but you didn't. You see, the easiest way to live life is to believe that you have this certain destiny, this certain limitation. And that shit could happen in a bad way too. The reason why your homie Julio is still thugged the fuck out and he's damn near 38, 39 years old is because Julio made the fucking choice that he's limited to his ghetto environment. As a matter of fact, Julio had a motherfucking chance to raise up his quality of lifestyle if he would have went down a specific route. Right? So instead of thugging it out, hanging out on the block, not fucking working, not building for their future, Julio thought it was cool as fuck to go commit crimes. Julio thought it was being real and being fucking, being 100 by not giving in and trying to do that extra. You see what I'm saying? And so Julio was influenced by his motherfucking surroundings to stay exactly where the fuck he's at. Whereas Daniel, who grew up in the same fucking hood as Julio, who went to the same fucking school, had the same limitations, had the same drama within their family, moved around, passed like a blunt, didn't have both parents around. Does that make sense? But Daniel was able to grow and raise the quality of his lifestyle, even though they came from the same surroundings. And the real fucking trick of it is that it is the initiative that sets them both apart. That makes sense? So Julio could have had the initiative and focused that energy towards building his path to exit the motherfucking ghetto. But see, Julio chose to limit himself because he was most comfortable within his surroundings. He knew that the ghetto wouldn't call much from him, right? It was okay not to have the luxury sedan, the good quality lifestyle, pocket full of legal cash. It wasn't cool to do that. What was cool is to get government support and fucking rely on free handouts and get just the fucking swap meet material brand. And that's okay. Whatever Julio wants, rock that shit, Julio. But at the end of the day, if you're all about getting yours, and I'm talking about raising the fucking level of everyone around you because that's the only fucking way that you're going to win, well, it's best to do that extra. Go ahead and stand the fuck out, because when you stand out, you're different. And when you're different, it just means that you're not like everyone else who's got a motherfucking limit. So today on Fuck It Friday, I'm telling you to tell your limitations, fuck you, because nothing's going to stop me to get what I want. Nothing's gonna fucking stop me to break and shatter every fucking record that's happening around me. You get it? So if you want that fucking car, or if you want that job, or if you want that promotion, go get that bitch. Because the only thing standing in front of you, boo-boo, if you're willing to admit it, is that motherfucking limited mindset. When you unlock the mindset and you have enough courage to believe, you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about anyone's opinion. I can give a shit what Julie thinks. I can give a shit what Julio thinks. Bruh, I'm going to get mine. Because when I get mine, then I can raise my life and raise the lifestyle of everyone around me. Now, who the fuck you think is happier? Julio or Daniel? Man, I hope you guys take away the message from this Fuck It Friday, because these are things that we can relate on. You see, even when you're at your highest of highs, you're still going to have that threat of having a limited view, of having a limited mindset, meaning, okay, well, I'm at the top, you know what I mean? There's nowhere from here, but no, you are inside of a digital age that enables you to expand and do more than what the fuck you're doing right now. You see, a lot of salespeople don't win because they stop at their limit, meaning that if they made a sale, they'll go ahead and coast for the rest of the motherfucking day, right? If they made more sales than they did last month, they feel good about themselves. But see, the real titans of the industry don't go by any limitations. They fucking go all in. And this is how you become a top producer is you got to close more of everything. You got to do more of everything. You got to make more outbound calls. You got to make more originations. You got to make more locks. You got to make more elevations. Everything has to be fucking more. But the problem is, though, not everyone will climb that ladder of getting more because they believe that they're limited to only getting more. Make sense? Only those that push the fucking boundaries and the limitations will find that they could get it all if they wanted to. And it's a motherfucking choice. If you agree, hit the thumbs up button. Definitely like this video. Comment what your takeaway is. I appreciate you guys sharing a few minutes with me this morning on Fuck It Friday. Leave a comment below on what you believe the topic should be next Friday for the FIF. And don't forget, limitations are a fucking choice. It's up to you and your own personal initiative to break past that bitch and get whatever it is that you deserve. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a blessed day. And remember, fuck limitations.